Hey, it's Chris. I'm driving. Don't worry, I'm not using my cell phone while I do that. I set it up in my cup holder before I started. And I just want to tell a crazy story. Not crazy, it's just one of these weird, totally unexpected things that you don't expect to come back to you. A few days ago, I was talking with somebody who is employed in a place where they offer social services to community members. And there's different people with different needs. Some people have different challenges, such as addictions and things like that. Well, I was getting to talk to this person, and it completely came out of nowhere, where this person started to tell me a story. We were talking about how love and compassion and kindness and understanding is much better than judgmentalism. And then it came up, this person was telling me a story about one of the clients, community members that they met where they work, and was saying how this person was telling them a story, saying how they almost lost their fingertips last winter. Like, this would have been, so now it's 2023, but we're talking the winter of 2021 to 2022, so a year and a half ago about. Anyways, the person was telling them a story saying, I was in a meth high. I was having a really bad trip. I nearly lost my fingers. And the reason I didn't lose my fingers is because somebody stopped. And the important part of the story was that hit me was that the person said, this individual who stopped noticed that I was in danger and asked me to put my gloves on. And no one had ever spoken to me that nicely. And that was really the only reason I put the gloves on, as messed up as I was, and that saved my fingers. Here's the crazy part of that story. I was the guy that asked them to put the gloves on. And this person telling me the story had no way of knowing that, because I'd never told them the story. It was just a random thing that happened in my life. I was driving downtown. I saw a person completely on just the peak of a meth high. It was about minus 27 air temperature, severe winds. So we're talking like wind chill of like 2,300, 2,350, something crazy. Like, no one should be outside in that weather. And they were in a meth high. They had no jacket. They were just wearing jeans, t-shirt, and they were drumming on this pylon. Drumming like it was the center of their universe. And I saw that their hands were red and bloated and like double the size they should have been. And like seriously looking like borderline gonna lose them. And so I stopped the car, and everybody else was just whistling by like ain't no thing, just another person, blah, 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 all this stigma stuff about addiction. Everybody else just flying by, and I stopped and I rolled the window down. I said, hey, my friend, and it just caught this person's attention. Excuse me. And they stopped, and they were like, but a moment prior, they were drumming like it was the only thing in their universe. And they stopped and looked at me. I said, excuse me, my friend. And I reached into my back seat and I pulled a pair of gloves out, and I said, would you please put these gloves on? And he said, what? Why? And I said, because I care about you and I don't want you to be hurt. And I don't know if you realize it right now, but you're freezing to death. And without skipping a beat, he said, okay, I will, but you know why? Because you just spoke to me nicer than my father ever did. And that's the only reason. And he put them on. And I stayed about another minute, and by that point, the paramedics that I had phoned arrived, and I gestured, showing that, yeah, I'm the one who phoned, and this is the man. And then we left. So, just one of those things. I was so happy to hear that, like, that a little bit of compassion, kindness, and just being nice and treating somebody like a human being made a big difference in their life. And I was really proud of that. And I was so happy to hear that story. And it just came totally out of nowhere.